Hi, I'm Dan Schmitt, and I do a motorcycle racing TV show called Team Chicago Challenge. My email is teamdan45@gmail.com, and I'd love to hear from my audience. My website is teamchicago.tv. That needs to be upgraded, but someday I will upgrade it. So we're at MCC, Motorcycle Center, and we're on St. Charles Road, just a little west of 83. MCC sells MV Agusta, Triumphs, KTM, great motorcycle shop, good friends of mine. But this is the Chicago Norton Owners Club annual vintage motorcycle event. I got my racing Triumph in here. I'm going to walk around, show you some of the bikes, the different categories, and I think it's going to be a very interesting TV show. So remember my email, teamdan45@gmail.com. I'd love to hear from what you think of this TV show. Again this year, the Norton Owners Show is at MCC with Greg and Jeff. The owners have been a friend of mine for many, many years. In fact, I can't even name, but I remember all the different locations. They moved into this location maybe 10 years ago. Now we're going to look at the BSAs. First, we got this BSA Scrambler because it's got up pipe, but this is in 1971 when they changed the frame. They went to oil in the frame, and at that time, I didn't really like this look, but this is a Scrambler with up pipes. This one here is a Lightning. It's twin carb, down pipes, and it's the 71 also. And at the end of the line, we're looking at a Thunderbolt. A Thunderbolt is also a 650, but with a single carburetor. Again, they had the gray frames. Back then, I didn't like them at all. In retro, looking back, I guess they were pretty decent looking bikes. But the bike I'm gonna vote for, because if you enter this competition, you're the ones that vote on the bikes. So the bike I'm voting for is this 1970 650 twin carb Lightning, I believe. This bike has the classic BSA looks. In fact, I have a Rocket 3 BSA that I am going to rebuild to 1969, and I hope it looks this great within the next couple years. Now we're looking at BMWs. I really like this sport touring BMW. It's a 1979 1000. I just like the look of this bike. If I wanted to have a touring bike, I think this is what I would love to ride. Got a great looking 1940 with a sidecar BMW flathead engine. This is before they went to overhead valves. Right next to it is a 1938 flathead engine, really nicely restored. And next to that, we got a 39 BMW. Great looking vintage motorcycles. And the one I'm voting for is this one with the sidecar on the end. It's a 1960, but with the matching sidecar, nice red interior. I think this is the choice one. Now let's take a look at the Nortons. You got the bike with the up pipes, that's a 67, and you got a 71. This electric start 75, really clean. And this is the one I'm gonna vote for. It looks like it just rolled off of the showroom. We're looking at a 73. You see the disc brake in the front. And right next to it is a 71. And that does not have a disc brake in front. Great looking Norton motorcycles. Now we're looking at the Triumphs. This is a 53 500cc or maybe a 350 flathead engine. Right next to it is a lovely 1959 Tiger with the Tiger on the front fender. That's a pre-unit engine. Now we're looking at a 65 Bonneville twin carb and then a 69 TR6C with the up pipes. This pretty Moto Guzzi really caught my eye. It is a lovely bike. It is a 1977, entered into custom class. Next is this lovely Triton. It's a Norton featherbed frame with a Triumph pre-unit engine, either 61 frame or 61 engine. Now we're looking at a 1948 Harley Davidson. I love this bike with the saddlebags. It's got a reparation engine, meaning this is a DKW engine from the Germans. And the Harley Davidson got to copy that engine after World War II, and also BSA Bantams used the same engine. Finally, we're looking at this Bimoto with a swing arm in the front and back. I don't remember exactly what year it is, but it is really a beautiful motorcycle. This is a knucklehead Harley Davidson trike, really well put together, a great looking bike, and a great looking knucklehead engine. And if you remember back in spring when I took a ride to the National Motorcycle Museum in Amarosa, Iowa, I spotted this Triumph T110 land speed record bike. Well, this bike, this Triumph, could have either been a 500cc, a 650cc, or an 850cc. And the owner is a good friend of mine, Bob Baumgartner. And I had an opportunity to talk to Bob at this year's Norton Owners Club meeting.
Bob Baumgartner. I know Dan Schmitt for numerous years while we were working at the same buildings. Then I branched off into Bonneville racing, and he went into dirt track racing and road racing. And I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in setting records at Bonneville.
Okay, so the whole Bonneville thing is a 10-mile course laid out on the Salt Flats. They only time you for that center mile, correct? Or how?
No, it was a 5-mile course.
Okay.
And a 2-mile course. I entered the 2-mile course.
Okay. So how much, you got a mile before you hit the timing mark, and then they time you?
About a half mile, and then you're timed in the last half mile or quarter mile of the mile. I forgot a lot of this stuff.
Right.
It's been about 5 years since I've been out there.
But it was always with Triumphs that you set these records?
Always Triumph.
So you had 650s?
650, and I had a bored out Triumph that was 850 cc's, and a 500 Triumph. Same engine case, but different cylinders.
So you had the same cylinders for 500 cc's, 650, and 850.
Yes.
Okay. Fastest speed?
Speed 124 is the best I turned. One time turned 130.
And that's both ways?
Yes.
Okay.
Had to be done both ways. Maximum one way, and then you average the speed the second day. They average you the speed, and that's how you set a record. You have to make.
So then you have to turn around within 1 hour or nothing?
No, not anymore.
But you couldn't touch the motor in between? Did
Yes,
the bike...
you can.
Oh,
anything you wanted to the motor.
All right, was 2 different groups that did the land speed stuff? Did you run with both groups, or what group?
Yes, they're all together. The next morning, you go out there and back up the speed and get the average for the records.
So how many records total did you have?
5.
5 at one time?
5 records out there.
And then, but you're saying how many you still own?
I don't have them anymore. Somebody else got them.
Right.
If you got a record out there, somebody else can get the same speed or better and take your record.
So you were running not streamline.
Partial streamline.
Partial, okay.
And open class.
So open to be no string, no fairing.
No fairing, right.
Okay.
And usually partial streamline.
So what's the fascination of Bonneville?
Well, you get the sensation of drag racing.
Did you ever do drag racing?
Yes, all the time.
Okay.
When I started out. But Bonneville, it was the same thing, but you do it over a whole mile and a half or 2 miles.
Right, right. So the top speed is the key.
Yes.
So how many other
Adrenaline rush.
adrenaline, right? Adrenaline. So how many top speeds did you get to see while you're out there? I mean, you ever see Vesco or any of them guys set any records?
Vesco ran out there, I think, earlier, and the crowd I was hanging around with were out of Texas, a Triumph organization out of Texas. And I just found out recently he passed away working in his shop at home. He fell down, hit his head.
Oh, really? So that was Double D or something like that, or
Big D.
Big D, right?
Big D. They set a lot of records
Right.
out there. They were the #1 Triumph organization.
So those are guys that you knew and all hung out, worked together, because it's
Jack
pretty.
Wilson also, he set the world's record out there. I got to know him a little bit, and he gave me some tips, but turned out to be no good. Not for
But
me.
it's the reality of Bonneville. I rode my dirt bike at Bonneville one year. I just unloaded and made big ovals. I mean, mile ovals, that it was like being on, almost like being on ice.
Yes, it was very, very bumpy, slippery, and there was things left on the course from the cars, and it was dangerous. But it's you got a high from doing it. I enjoyed it. I like to go as fast as possible.
So do you got any film from then, or video, or
I
pictures?
got a lot of still pictures of my bike, that's all.
Right, right.
You know, all I cared about, I did it for the fun of it. And came back and worked on the bike next year to be ready for next year. So it was a laid back type of racing, not like yours. I had all year to get my machine ready for the next year. And that's after I drag raced. Then I drag raced for a while. But it was only for the fun of it. There was no money involved.
Thank you, Bob. What great inside information. Now we're looking at a 1975 Voltaco Astro. This is the competition class, a couple vintage Ducati road racers, and my Triumph, my 750 Trackmaster Triumph. I've had this bike now for 50 years. Now it's time for the trophies with John Ravella.
First of all, I want to thank everybody that made the effort and did the work to come out here, bring their bikes. Second of all, I want everyone here to give a round of applause to MCC for hosting this event. This is our 6th or 7th year. Over the years, we've had to move the location of this show several times because we had run into problems with the facilities closing, companies being sold. MCC was the perfect place for us to be many years ago, and we had to wait till they bought this facility to do it. Now, I want to thank them. Hold it right up to your mouth. All right, American class. Third place goes to John Herrera for the 1912 Indian. Second place goes to a gentleman that's been here many times over the years, 32 Indian Scout, Al Byers.
There you go, sir.
Al's bikes are generally worthy of Best in Show awards. First place in the American class goes to a 1938 Indian Chief that also belongs to Al Byers.
Let Jim get your pictures.
Third place goes to a 1940 R12 Marcin Nosowski.
See here? You are third. Thank you.
Keep in mind, as I'm announcing these, this is a popular vote done by all the people that display the bikes. This is not a vote or something that the staff here picks. We don't decide who gets the awards. You all decide who gets the awards. Second place, BMW class, goes to a 1968 R60, Andy K. Don't be offended, I can't pronounce some of these names, so I'm not going to try to butcher them. First place, very cool bike, in the BMW class, goes to the 1938 R12, belonging to Andre K. Another name I can't pronounce. Second place for a 1966 BSA Lightning goes to Terry White. First place in the BMW BSA class goes to a 1971 Lightning owned by Tim Smith.
Did you bring a BSA? You got your hearing aid too?
So we got a Norton guy bring a BSA. Nice. For a Norton club. First place goes to the 75 Otaco Astro dirt track racer, David Moore. First place in the the custom class goes to 77 Moto Guzzi, Lee Trelope or Trelope.
Line up and get a shot. I like that.
Japanese under 400cc class now, which is normally very well attended. We got some nice bikes today. Third place goes to Jim Anderson for the 1964 Dream, Honda Dream. Second place goes to very cool little bike, Phil, for the SL70. It's a 1971. First place in the under 400cc Japanese bikes goes to the 75 RD350 of Rusty Studenroth.
Guy wins again. I come over this way somewhere?
Come on over here, he's going to take your
The third place goes to my old buddy Eric Long for the GS 1100E. I believe it's a 1983. Second place in the over 400cc Japanese class goes to that beautiful purple 75 Kawasaki H2 750 belonging to Craig Long. Coincidentally, father and son. First place in the Japanese over 400cc class goes to the 1982 CBX belonging to Tom Zizmansky. For Nortons, we had a good turnout today. All pretty bikes. Third place goes to one of our club members that helps us put this together every year. 1973 750 Commando Roadster, Clyde Zalizniak. Second place goes to the guy standing here trying to help me for that beautiful 750 Roadster, silver one, 72, Bob Boucher.
I'll get somebody else. I'll get first place.
First place in the Norton class goes to another one of our members, another old buddy that helped us with all the shows for many years, decades actually. Alex Gallagher for the 75 Commando Interstate.
It was my vote that put you over.
Yeah, sure.
Triumph 750 class, we had one entry. Ron Resmer, the T140, the bike's gorgeous. Come on over, Ron.
One entry, you can't go wrong, right?
No, I know. That's unusual. That class has been really highly filled out. Vintage scooter. We had a couple entries. We're given one award in that class. For the 57 Cushman Eagle belongs to Rich. 57 Cushman Eagle. I didn't get his last name. Second place goes to the 1948 Aerial Square Forward Sprinter number 9, Fred Lake.
How'd that happen?
Well, that's what you get for parking next to Cliff Burger. First place goes to our old buddy Cliff Burger for the 59 Veloset MSS. European, we had a few entries, all nice. We're given one award in that class to the 1928 NSU Martin Regala. All other Triumph, which encompasses anything that's not a 750 Triumph, and a number of 650s and even a 500 over there, and then the older one. Third place goes to Don Camus for the 1953 Triumph TRW. Second place goes to the TR6C 1971 of Mike Farrell. All other Triumph first place winner goes to the Triumph T110, Nathan Hill. Unrestored. We had 4 entries in that class. They were all cool. Second place goes to Sean Gorse for a 1966 Poop 175. Which he rode in.
Oh, they spelled it wrong.
First place, all unrestored class goes to the 65 Sears Allstate, Craig Long.
Unexpected bike ever, right?
MCC supports us so well, we always give them credit for sponsoring this. They have us here, and we couldn't ask for a better place to be. Our best in show, 1938 BMW R12, Andre, Randy, whichever you prefer.
Thank you very much.
We have a special award, first time we just created it this year. Many of you won't know who I'm talking about. I'm going to explain a little bit. We lost a member back in March that was very dear to us. Very well-known guy, ex-professional racer in the Hall of Fame, very well-known person, John Young. We created a new award in his honor, the Phoenix Award. I'm assuming some people know what that means. The idea is that somebody brought something back from the dead, it rose from the ashes. John Young was a very known motorcycle and car restorer of the first order. He worked on multi-million-dollar cars. He didn't play around. The first annual Chicago Norton Owners Club Phoenix Award goes to Mark Rogala for the 28 NSU.
We got a box for it over here.
This 1928 NSU is a Model 501. It's got a 494cc side valve engine with a 3-speed, and the engine is a unit construction. It makes 11 horsepower, and the top speed is about 60 to 70 miles per hour. It's got a Bosch magneto, and the company NSU started out as a knitting machine company, and they made their first motorcycle in 1901. The same year that Triumph made their first motorcycle. As we see my Triumph, I got second place in the competition class. For more information on the Norton Club, their website is cnoc.org. Their email is chicagonort@yahoo.com. MCC, it's teammcc.com for more info on Motorcycle Center. I had a great time at the Chicago Norton Owners Club show and MCC. Contact me, and I love to hear from my audience. It's teamdan45@gmail.com. And remember, you can always search on YouTube with Dan Schmitt Motorcycle Racing. And I highly encourage you to visit the World of Motorcycle Museum, Winamac, Indiana, 4 miles south of North Judson. It's on Indiana Highway 39. Give them a call first at 574-896-3172. It's a great trip and a great collection of motorcycles.